What if the past you thought was gone forever suddenly walked back into your life? In Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, that haunting question becomes reality when Ty Borden returns, shaking the foundation of everything Amy Fleming and her family have built since his departure. His shocking reappearance doesn't just stir Amy's heart, it reopens wounds, tests loyalties, and sets the stage for one of the most emotional reunions Heartland has ever given us. But the real surprise? It isn't just about Ty and Amy, it's about the bond between Amy and Georgie, a bond that has been tested by time, distance, and secrets. The story begins not with joy, but with unease. Amy has spent years learning how to stand tall after Ty's absence, building a life of quiet resilience while carrying the weight of loss. She has raised Lindy with love, found strength in the simple routines of the ranch, and leaned on her family to keep moving forward. Yet, no matter how much time has passed, the memory of Ty has never left her. His presence lingers in the horses she heals, in the laughter of her daughter, and in the still nights when the ache of loneliness whispers louder than anything else. For Amy, Ty was not just a partner. He was a part of her soul, and the hole he left behind seemed impossible to fill. But fate is not finished with Amy. In Season 19, Episode 1, the familiar piece of Heartland is shaken. It begins subtly, with quiet moments where characters sense something changing in the air. Jack grows more reflective, Lou's voice carries a nervous tension, and Lindy, innocent as ever, keeps asking questions about her father that Amy struggles to answer. These small signs create an atmosphere heavy with anticipation, as if the ranch itself knows something is about to happen. Then comes the moment no one expected. Ty Borden returns, not in whispers, not in memory, but in flesh and blood. His reappearance is not wrapped in glamour or triumph. Instead, it is raw, emotional, and overwhelming. Amy's heart is torn between disbelief and hope. For years, she told herself to move forward, to be strong for Lindy, to accept what life had taken away. And yet, here he is, the man she mourned, the father her daughter barely knew, the love she thought she had lost forever. Amy's first reaction is not simple joy. It is fear. Fear that this moment is a dream. Fear that if she reaches out, it will all disappear. And fear of what his return might mean for the life she has built in his absence. Her emotions are a storm. Grief and relief, love and hesitation, anger and forgiveness, swirling all at once. She whispers his name, her voice trembling, and in that single moment, years of heartbreak crash back into her chest. But Ty's return is not just Amy's story. Georgie, too, carries a heavy heart shaped by his absence. Ty was more than family to her. He was a guide, a mentor, someone who understood her when she felt lost. His departure left her with scars she rarely spoke of, and though she grew into her own strength, there was always a part of her that missed him deeply. Now, as she faces him again, Georgie is forced to reconcile her past with her present. Will she welcome him with open arms, or will the years of silence create a wall too high to climb? The episode begins to weave these threads together, drawing viewers into a story about love, loss, and the unbreakable ties that connect family. Even when time and fate try to tear them apart, Ty's return is not just shocking, it is a reckoning. It forces every member of Heartland to face their own truth. For Amy, it is about love reborn. For Georgie, it is about forgiveness and rediscovery. For Lindy, it is about finally meeting the father she only knew through stories. And for the rest of the Bartlett-Fleming family, it is about embracing a miracle while bracing for the consequences. This first section sets the stage for a journey that promises both healing and heartbreak. Because in Heartland, nothing is ever simple. Ty's shocking return is only the beginning, and the choices that follow will test bonds, reveal secrets, and challenge every character in ways they never imagined. As the shock of Ty's return ripples through Heartland, the air feels heavy with questions that no one dares to ask out loud. Amy's emotions remain raw, but she is not the only one shaken. Georgie stands at a distance, watching, her heart torn between happiness and caution. For her, Ty was the first person who believed she could rise above her troubled beginnings. When she arrived at Heartland, lost and defensive, it was Ty who offered patience, guidance, and the kind of encouragement she never thought she deserved. He taught her that second chances are real, that mistakes don't define a person forever. Losing him was like losing the compass she had used to find her place in the world. And now that he is back, she cannot decide if she should run to him with open arms or hold back, protecting herself from another heartbreak. Amy notices Georgie's hesitation. For years, Amy and Georgie have shared an unspoken bond, a sisterly connection born from loss, struggle, and growth. When Ty left, Amy was shattered, but Georgie was quietly broken too. Their grief had tied them closer together, making them rely on each other in ways neither could have imagined. Amy became a figure of strength for Georgie, and Georgie became a silent source of comfort for Amy. Now, with Ty standing there, both women find themselves at a crossroads. If Amy embraces Ty fully, what does that mean for the bond she built with Georgie? If Georgie holds back, will she risk losing the closeness they fought so hard to create? The episode carefully draws out this tension. Georgie finally steps forward, her face calm, but her eyes filled with conflict. She looks at Ty, not with the innocence of Lindy or the emotional shock of Amy, but with the maturity of someone who has lived through pain and learned to guard her heart. "It's been a long time," she says softly. Simple words, but they carry years of longing, sadness, and hope. Ty's reaction is immediate. His eyes glisten, his jaw trembles, and he answers with quiet regret. "Too long." That brief exchange reminds viewers that their bond was special, built on trust and mutual respect. And now it must be rebuilt piece by piece. Amy watches this unfold with a heavy heart. She sees Georgie's struggle and understands it deeply, because it mirrors her own. The reunion she dreamed of is not a simple fairy tale. It is complicated, layered with years of pain, unanswered questions, and fragile hope. Amy feels torn between joy at seeing Ty again and fear of what it might cost those around her. She knows Georgie carries scars, and she fears that Ty's sudden reappearance might open wounds that never fully healed. Meanwhile, the rest of the family observes silently, each person carrying their own emotions. Jack, usually the strong anchor, is uncharacteristically quiet, his eyes darting between Amy and Georgie. Lou stands nearby, her protective instincts on high alert. She sees the joy in Lindy's face, the hesitation in Georgie's, and the storm in Amy's. And she knows this moment is more fragile than it appears. Even Tim, behind his rough exterior, looks unsettled. His arms are crossed, his words sharp, but his gaze reveals the same question haunting them all. Why now? The mystery of Ty's return becomes as important as the emotions it stirs. Where has he been? Why did it take him so long to come back? And most importantly, can he stay? These unspoken questions add tension to every look, every pause, every word exchanged. The episode makes it clear that Ty's return is not just about love or reunion, it is about truth. And truth in Heartland is never simple. Georgie eventually takes another step closer, her voice steadier this time. She tells Ty about her journey, about the choices she made, the risks she took, and the strength she found in his absence. Her words are not bitter. They are honest. She wants him to know that she survived, that she grew, but that a part of her always felt incomplete without him. Ty listens, his face marked by regret and pride. He tells her how much he missed her, how often he thought of her, and how sorry he is for the years lost. It is a moment of healing, but not of resolution. The bond is not instantly mended, it is only beginning to be rebuilt. As Amy watches Georgie and Ty reconnect, a quiet realization settles over her. This reunion is not just hers. It belongs to all of them: Amy, Georgie, Lindy, Jack, Lou, Tim. Ty's return affects every heart in the family, and every relationship will be tested in the episodes ahead. The emotions of this first encounter are just the surface of a much deeper storm. By the end of this section, viewers understand one thing clearly: Ty's return is both a miracle and a challenge. It offers love, healing, and hope, but it also demands forgiveness, patience, and courage. And as Amy and Georgie stand side by side, facing the man who once defined so much of their lives, one truth becomes undeniable. This is not the end of the story. It is only the beginning. The longer Ty remains at Heartland, the more the tension builds. His presence is like a stone dropped into still water. The ripples spread, touching every member of the family in ways they didn't expect. At first, there is relief, even joy. Lindy clings to him as though she's afraid he might vanish again. Jack finds quiet comfort in seeing the man he helped shape return home. But beneath those tender moments lies an undercurrent of unease. Something about Ty's return feels incomplete, as though there is a shadow trailing close behind him. A truth waiting to be uncovered. Amy feels it most of all. While her heart leaps every time she looks at him, she cannot escape the weight of unanswered questions. Where has he been? Why did he stay away for so long? What kind of pain did he carry in his silence? These thoughts keep her restless, turning joy into fear. Amy knows that Heartland is built on honesty, on facing truth even when it hurts. If Ty cannot share his truth, then their reunion risks collapsing before it truly begins. Georgie, too, senses the cracks beneath the surface. After her emotional exchange with Ty, she feels a mixture of relief and suspicion. She knows him well enough to see that his eyes carry more than joy. They carry guilt. She wonders if there are parts of his story he is holding back, secrets he isn't ready to reveal. And though she wants to welcome him without hesitation, Georgie's strength has been built on caution. She refuses to let herself believe in miracles without knowing the whole truth. The family begins to notice the strain between Amy and Ty. Small. Things become larger than they should be. Amy hesitating. Before reaching for his hand, Ty pausing before answering her questions. Lindy, with her childlike innocence, doesn't see the tension. To her, every moment with her father is magical. She doesn't carry the weight of doubt or history. She only carries love. And yet, her joy becomes a reminder to the adults of what's at stake. If Ty's return proves fragile, it won't just be Amy or Georgie who suffers. It will be Lindy, too. Jack finally breaks the silence one evening. His voice is steady, but his eyes carry the wisdom of a man who has seen too much loss. He tells Ty that coming back is not enough, that family is built on trust, not just presence. Jack's words are not harsh, but they cut deep. They force Ty to confront the truth he has been avoiding. The truth that staying silent will only create new fractures in a family already scarred by his absence. Lou, always the practical one, echoes Jack's concern. She has spent years protecting Amy and Lindy, stepping in when Ty could not. Her love for her sister makes her cautious. She tells Ty plainly that Amy deserves answers, that Georgie deserves honesty, and that Lindy deserves more than just half of the truth. Lou's voice trembles as she speaks, not out of anger, but out of fear. Fear that Amy's heart will break all over again if Ty isn't fully committed. The pressure builds, and Ty finally admits that his journey back was not simple. His absence was not by choice alone, but by circumstances that kept him away longer than he ever intended. His words are vague, his explanations fragmented, leaving more questions than answers. Amy listens, her chest tight, torn between compassion and frustration. She wants to believe him, to hold on to the miracle of his return. But a small voice inside her whispers that the story isn't complete. Georgie confronts him directly, her tone sharper than Amy's. She demands clarity, reminding him that family deserves the truth. Ty looks at her, his expression heavy with regret, but he stops short of giving the full explanation. Instead, he asks for time, for patience, for trust, for the chance to show through actions what he cannot yet say in words. This moment fractures the family's emotions. Amy clings to hope. Georgie holds on to suspicion, and Jack and Lou stand on the line between them, uncertain which way to lean. The silence that follows Ty's request is not peaceful. It is heavy, suffocating, filled with doubts no one dares to speak aloud. For viewers, this uncertainty becomes the heart of the suspense. Ty's return, once a joyous miracle, is now a mystery. What is he hiding? Why can't he speak openly? And most importantly, can Amy and Georgie rebuild their trust in him if his truth remains in the shadows? By the end of this section, one thing is clear. The reunion that began with tears and embraces is far from complete. The real test is only beginning. Because in Heartland, love is never just about holding on. It is about facing the hardest truths, even when they threaten to break you. But just when it feels like everything is falling into place, a wave of uncertainty washes over the ranch. Ty's return, as joyful as it is, brings with it shadows of the past. Ghosts that not only linger in his mind, but also ripple through the lives of those around him. He has been away for so long that even though his heart yearns to pick up right where he left off, reality makes it clear. Time has changed everything. And while love may endure, adjusting to a world that moved forward without him is far from easy. Amy, too, is caught in this struggle. For years, she has carried the weight of raising Lindy alone, filling the silence of Ty's absence with endless work and the quiet ache of longing. Now, with Ty beside her, she should feel whole. But instead, a flicker of doubt creeps in. Will he stay? Can he truly find peace in a place tied to so many memories, both beautiful and heartbreaking? And most of all, can they bridge the distance created not by miles, but by years of separation? Georgie, standing at the crossroads of her own journey, feels this tension deeply. Her reunion with Amy has already rekindled bonds of family, yet Ty's presence stirs emotions she cannot easily define. To her, Ty is not just Amy's partner or Lindy's father. He is the anchor of the family she has always cherished. But Georgie has dreams pulling her in another direction. Dreams that could once again take her far from the Heartland ranch. The question is, does she stay for the family she loves? Or does she chase the future that calls her name? Jack, ever the quiet observer, notices all these cracks forming beneath the surface. He knows better than anyone that love alone is never enough. It must be nurtured, protected, and fought for every single day. He senses Ty's internal battle, the way silence lingers on his lips when he should speak, the way his eyes wander toward the mountains as though searching for answers. And Jack wonders if Ty has truly returned for good, or if his heart is still restless, yearning for something even he cannot name. Lou, on the other hand, finds herself torn between celebration and unease. While she welcomes Ty back with open arms, her practical mind cannot ignore the changes his reappearance has stirred. The ranch has adapted, the family has grown stronger in his absence, and now everything is shifting once more. She wonders what this means for Amy's future, for Georgie's choices, for Lindy's stability. Lou knows the power of family bonds, but she also knows that unresolved wounds can break even the strongest of ties if left to fester. As for Ty himself, he feels the weight of all these unspoken fears pressing down on him. The joy of reunion is real, but so is the guilt of being gone, of missing the milestones in Lindy's life, of leaving Amy to fight battles alone. And while his return is a miracle many thought impossible, miracles do not erase scars. At night, when the ranch is quiet and stars blanket the sky, Ty lies awake, questioning whether he can truly reclaim the life he left behind, or whether he must carve out a new path altogether. This uncertainty creates a storm that the family cannot ignore. Old conflicts resurface, subtle misunderstandings grow into unspoken tensions, and every character finds themselves standing at a crossroads. Will they cling to the past, or will they find the courage to step into a new chapter together? And as the first episode of Season 19 edges toward its climax, the audience realizes one undeniable truth. Ty's shocking return was only the beginning. The real challenge is not whether he is back, but whether the family can hold together under the weight of everything his return has brought. Because sometimes, the hardest part of a miracle is learning how to live with it. The episode reaches its most gripping stage as the undercurrents of doubt, love, and unfinished stories collide. Ty's return was never meant to be simple. It was always destined to test the strength of Heartland's foundation. And in this moment, it becomes clear. Every character is standing on the edge of choices that could change their lives forever. Amy feels the storm most intensely. She has dreamed of this reunion countless nights. Imagined Ty walking back through that door. Imagined Lindy's laughter echoing as her father held her for the first time in years. And now that dream is real. But as she looks into Ty's eyes, she sees more than joy. She sees pain, hesitation, and questions that words cannot answer. Amy wonders, will love be enough to mend the time they lost? Or will the very weight of their history become the wedge that drives them apart again? Lindy, blissfully unaware of the complexities surrounding her, clings to Ty's presence as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Her innocence is both beautiful and heartbreaking, because while she accepts her father without hesitation, the adults around her carry scars that cannot be healed with a single smile. Ty feels this with every hug, every laugh. Each moment with Lindy is a gift, but also a reminder of what he missed. And the guilt gnaws at him like an open wound. Georgie's role in this unfolding story grows heavier with each passing scene. She has reunited with Amy and Ty, yet her heart is restless. She knows she cannot remain forever at Heartland without giving up her own ambitions. But how can she walk away again now, when Ty's return has made the family whole in a way it hasn't been for years? The thought of leaving tears at her soul, and yet the thought of staying feels like burying her dreams before they even had a chance to blossom. Jack, meanwhile, is the silent guardian of them all. He carries the wisdom of a man who has seen life break people in ways they never expected. And when he looks at Ty and Amy, he knows this moment is fragile, like glass that could shatter if not handled carefully. Jack's fear is not that Ty will leave again, but that the family will let the unspoken doubts consume them before they have the chance to heal. His quiet strength is their anchor, but even anchors can only hold so much against the rising tide. Lou, too, feels the ripple effect. She cannot help but calculate the risks in her mind, the impact on Lindy if Ty falters, the strain on Amy if old wounds reopen, the uncertainty Georgie carries in her heart. For Lou, love is not just an emotion, it is a responsibility. And though she wants to believe in happy endings, her cautious nature whispers that they are rare and fragile. She wants to celebrate Ty's return, but she also knows that if the family is not careful, the same miracle that brought them joy could also bring chaos. And then, in a breathtaking twist, the episode plants the seed of the season's central conflict. Ty, though grateful to be back, hints at something unresolved, something that happened during his time away that he has not yet shared. A shadow passes over his expression, a silence heavier than words. The family senses it, even if he does not speak it aloud. And in that silence, the audience is left to wonder, what secrets does Ty carry? What truth is he holding back? And how will it change everything? The episode closes not with resolution, but with questions that burn in every viewer's mind. Will Amy and Ty rebuild the bond they once had? Or will unspoken fears pull them apart? Will Georgie find her place with the family? Or will her dreams carry her away again? Can Jack's wisdom and Lou's practicality hold the family steady, or is the storm too strong for even Heartland to weather? One thing is certain, Ty Borden's shocking return is not the end of a story. It is the beginning of a new one. A story of healing, love, sacrifice, and the painful truth that even miracles come with a price. And as the screen fades to black, the audience is left breathless, eager for the next chapter, desperate to know whether Heartland's strongest bonds will endure or break under the weight of the past. Because in Season 19, it's not just about Ty coming home, it's about whether home can truly remain the same once he does.